Welcome back to the Stadio Silvio Piola here in Novara. Not surprisingly, Inter have made a change. Joel Obi has come on. The 20-year-old Nigerian has played 7 times for his country, and also not surprisingly, Gianpaolo Pazzini has made his way onto the pitch. We did say at the start it was controversial to leave Pazzini out tonight. We thought this was going to be his night. As you can see, Diego Forlan will take no further part of this match. It's 1-0 to Novara, the first home game in Serie A since 1956, and my goodness, these supporters are loving every second of what they're seeing. But I'll tell you what, Scott, I wouldn't have minded being a fly on the wall in the Inter dressing room during the break. What did Gianpiero Gasperini say to his players, and what tangible changes do you expect to see in the second half in terms of the shape?
Well, it looks like he said we're going to change it again. I mean, he's already played, I think, just about every formation possible since the start of this campaign. And now with Pazzini up, it looks like they might go to 3-5-2. Pazzini, Milito and Obi come into the midfield area. That's what I'm thinking, but at the moment, who knows? I don't even think, Derek, the players look like they really know. There's an awful lot of talking about where they're going to be playing. Assistant coaches showing them where they're going to be playing on boards. It's a bit desperate.
Pazzini for Diego Forlan. Here's one change, and the one will Joel Obi take the place of young Luke Castaignos. Not much margin for error as far as Inter are concerned as the second half begins. Surely the manager cannot afford another slip-up. The goal that separates these two sides coming from Riccardo Meggiorini on 38 minutes. The former Inter player. I have to say, Novara have been good value for the lead.
Certainly have, and it's horrible to say this, but so early in the campaign that it just has the feeling of the last throw of the dice for Gasperini, changing it again so quickly.
Nagatomo's gone over to the right. He's operating on the left-hand side in the first half. There's Kivu. His first half performance best forgotten. The pattern continues at the start of the second 45. Morimoto reaching out for it, foiled by Zanetti. There's the Novara side. And Fiore, another Inter old boy. Radovanovic has been operating in the centre of midfield, the man from Serbia. Meggiorini, the goal scorer. Obi running into a brick wall in form of Filippo Porcari, the Novara captain. Danger here. Lucio. Nagatomo over at right back. Nokia, Lucio, Kivu, back four, Scott? Or is it?
Oh, it's really hard to tell. It does look that way. Maybe Nagatomo was just playing very wide in the 5. We'll soon find out.
Kivu. Well read by Lisuzzo. He's been superb. Keeping tabs on Milito again. Zanetti. Zanetti, who has broken the record for appearances, and then into shot. Well, that wasn't a bad shot, was it? Nagatomo cutting in off the touchline.
Oh, he's really unlucky. It's a good strike with his left foot. Makes the goalkeeper score him a bit.
Scored twice last season, Nagatomo, against Genoa in March and against Catania in May.
You can see there, still a back three.
It is.
And Nagatomo is just playing slightly wide, but he'll naturally drop back in to that full-back area.
Chamiti, ball I think had just gone out of play, yes.
I was going to say that I would have been pleased if Nagatomo had dropped back into a 4, because you can talk about the changes in midfield and up front all you like, but in the first half it was at the back that Inter really struggled.
Christian Kivu. Andrea Ranocchia. Lucio. Nagatomo. Followed by Giamiti. Pressure applied by Meggiorini, and again. And it's Lucio for Inter. Well, they have to scamper back, but two ill-advised passes from Novara. Didn't score at the weekend against Roma. Didn't score in the match before that in the Champions League against Trabzonspor. Nothing to show for their efforts here in Novara either, with 50 minutes now on the stopwatch. Well, coming off Yuto Nagatomo.
Thinking, I wonder how Pazzini feels being left out. And he gets his chance. Does he really want to do it for the manager? That's the thing. It's always a question of professionalism.
There's Morimoto. Bounces in front of Julio Cesar on this synthetic surface in Novara. Radovanovic hasn't been afraid to put himself about. Obi, one of two half-time substitutes used by Gianpiero Gasparini. Gianpaolo Pazzini is the other. Cambiasso. Here's Obi. Pazzini's waiting inside the box. Oh, it's Milito this time.
He is well offside. Look at his first touch. He's got to try and get another touch again before he gets his shot away. And for me, it's all to do with the surface and not being completely comfortable with it. That's got to be a worry for Gasparini.
Meggiorini, well read by Ranocchia. Here's Esteban Cambiasso. Something of a goal scorer last season, Cambiasso. 7 in all in Serie A. Morimoto trying to touch it on. Matarani couldn't put it away. Julio Cesar rescuing Inter, but the shot was weak.
What a chance that was. He didn't look confident, did he?
A let-off for Inter. Nagatomo. And again, Milito has strayed.
He's always offside, that one. So easy again for him to get through, but he never looked completely confident of scoring there. Meggiorini, it might have been a different outcome. I already know that he's a finisher.
Obi. Lovely shimmy by Joel Obi. There is Samir Uikani, Albanian who holds a Belgian passport. Concerned looking Massimo Moratti on the tribune of honour. It's a pretty small tribune of honour, this venue.
So I think this is a good ball in. There's just no takers.
Snyder. Pazzini. This is Cambiasso. Snyder again. Oh, it didn't come off at all for Wesley Snyder. Good play by Pachi, and he runs into trouble. Mazzarani. He fluffed his lines just a couple of minutes ago. He had the opportunity to double Inter's trouble. Morimoto, touch on. Close defending. Once again from Della Fiore. Morimoto, free kick, yes. As Pachi trots away from the scene of the crime.
Don't look quite as disorganised now in the second half with a 3-5-2 Inter. Certainly getting the wide players on the ball, Obi and Nagatomo. That's allowing a bit more space for Snyder in the midfield.
Wesley Snyder, routine for Samir Uikani.
This is poor by his standards.
Five minutes of fruitless toil for Inter. Cambiasso, away by the excellent Lisuzzo. Novara trying to start something again. Jamiti always eager to go forward on that left flank. Lucio, the concession of a corner here.
Well, building in confidence again. Novara just taken a little bit of pressure from Inter, not too much, and they've dealt with it very easily.
So the central defender is making his way up for the set piece. Rigoni, who took the corner in the first place. Zanetti trying to slow him down. Oh, it's off the head of Ranocchia. Could have gone anywhere. Obi. Played in there by Porcari. Bit of cut spin on it. Porcari wins it back swiftly. Didn't have to do very much to have custody of the ball. It was a shocking pass by Milito. What an occasion here in Novara. Morimoto. Ranocchia together there with Morimoto. The Japanese international felt the contact.
A little bit of afters there. Ranocchia gets away with it though.
Rigoni with the corner, looking for the head of Lisuzzo. Oh, it's a deflection here of Kivu. A shot by Porcari. No let up from Novara.
Oh, very good pressure. Kivu gets a touch, could have gone anywhere. Even past his arc.
Can Novara grab a second goal while the going's good? Ranocchia's header away for Inter. Mazzarani. Wasn't much there from Obi. Inter's throw. Let's see what Mazzarani thought of that. And Mauro Zarate is going to come on. Who was once with Birmingham. So loan from Lazio. Pazzini. This is Lucio. Milito. Handed away efficiently enough by Pachi. Cambiasso. Snyder. Still plenty of time for Inter. They're going to have to sharpen up their act. Zanetti. Cambiasso, and it came off the heel of Mazzarani. And Meggiorini halted in his tracks. Pazzini's down as well. And the referee's got his card out. And Pazzini is the player caution.
I think that's good refereeing. Pazzini certainly stopped the counter-attack. Novara.
Zarate, he's been waiting for a while. Still 1-0 to Novara. Still that goal by Meggiorini. The difference in this game. So Giorgi about to come on for Novara. That's a player who went down. And another booking. This time it goes to the combative Paolo Hernan Della Fiore.
Yeah, you just see him take Obi out there. Defended well, Della Fiore.
Well, Meggiorini is being withdrawn at this juncture. That's an interesting move. Led by Attilio Tessa. And the replacement will be Luigi Giorgi, a midfield player. We'll no doubt leave it to Morimoto to tough it out and attack. Scott's reaction to that in a second. It is Snyder with this latest Inter free kick. And back out to Lucio, who took a swing at the ball. Now then, was there a foul there? Mazzarani was impeded by Obi. I suppose under the circumstances it wasn't the worst foul from the Inter point of view.
Well, you're right, another good one for them. It's just to stop that counter-attack. Mazzarani's got pace. He's on his way.
Concern in the tribune of honour. Concern on the pitch too if you're an Inter supporter. Francesco Marianini is poised to come on here for Novara. Field player in his second season with the club. Zanetti. Here is Snyder. Kivu. They heard the footsteps of Morimoto. Milito for Cambiasso. Back to Milito. In there went Porcari. Quickly forward to Morimoto, who is the lone striker now for Novara. Here's Giorgi, who's just come on. Problem solved by Kivu. Inter are walking something of a tightrope here. Giampiero Gasparini's men. It's as though it's a cut at bottom lip. Giampiero Gasparini. Should have something happened at half-time.
Well, I wouldn't like to speculate, but I must admit I didn't see it on his lip before half-time.
Well, there's substitution here. On has come. He was waiting patiently. Manianini. Tarani just pulling up as we speak. Zanate.
Novara do stiffen things up in the midfield area, but I think it's equally important they don't just sit back and invite Inter on. They've looked a real force when they've gone forward, and they have to keep trying to do that. Otherwise, I think 25 minutes is a long time to try and hold out.
No joy that time for Rigoni. He wins the ball by fair means. The home supporters appreciate the commitment displayed by Rigoni. Zarate, from a prominent football playing family in Argentina. Obi. Nagatomo giving it to Snyder. Zanetti. Lucio managed to get it to Milito. This is better from Inter. Nagatomo towards Obi, who was storming in. It's with Della Fiore. It's a disappointing ball, really, from Marianini, the substitute. And Pazzini goes down. Nothing wrong with the challenge, which came in from Pachi. Now Rigoni. He's been very creative in this match. Morimoto. October. Taka Morimoto. See that the offside flag was up, and that was marginal score.
Yeah, just a foot or so in that one.
Oh, look at this. Wesley Snyder. Because hasn't been able to get going this season under Giampiero Gasparini, is hooked on this Camaro Zarate. Scott.
He's certainly not scared to make a decision, Gasparini. I think that's one thing you have to say to his credit. It's just a case of whether he makes the right decisions or not.
Tarani, who picked up a knock just seconds ago, is going off. On will come Jeda, the Brazilian who's on loan from Lecce, Brazilian who carries an Italian passport. Scored 5 goals in 25 matches for Lecce in Serie A last season. Nagatomo no way through. That thicket of bodies. Immediate activity for Jeda. Jamiti into reverse. Midway through the second half. What a story the Novara players at the moment are writing for their club. Wesley Snyder will take no further part in this match. Gasparini, not long on the job. Will Inter be looking for what would be the 5th coach in around 14 months. Nagatomo headed away that time by Mizutsu. Nobody able to snap onto it for Inter.
But where's the midfield there? Zanetti, as you see, he's sitting back. Cambiasso, he then has to be the one to get himself in the box.
Lucio, he's gone striding into the penalty area himself. Hasn't managed to prod it forward, but away by Pachi. It's not smooth, it's not pretty from Inter though, is it?
No, it's extremely ugly really. But there's still 20 minutes to go, and I wouldn't put it past them. At least getting one back here. They have to up the tempo of their passing a lot more than they are at the moment. It's making it easy for the home side.
It's Kivu, who was watching Morimoto. Nokia's pass again. Lack conviction. Zarate, having come off the bench. Steered away by Della Fiore. He's given it straight to Javier Zanetti. Zarate again. And Tomo was looking for the head of Cambiasso.
Well, it's better this time. Cambiasso, as you see, he does make that run.
Instead it was the head of Della Fiore. And the outcome is another corner. Zarate. Proposed forward play by Morimoto. Here's Giorgi. The offside flag going up. Once against Jeda. Close.
Wasn't far away.
We're inside the final 20 minutes. Great to have you with us on ESPN. Novara 1, Inter 0. Lucio and Pazzini trying to stab it towards goal. He was convinced it came off a Novara defender.
Well, it's good play from Pazzini. Almost gets a yard, but not quite. Again, very good defending, nice and tight. May have taken a deflection. I think we'll see here. That's difficult for the referee, that one. He certainly felt like it had taken a touch and was looking for the corner.
Yes, it probably did come off Della Fiore. It's Morimoto. Exquisite flick back. Giorgi! Smart stop by Julio Cesar. Instinctive stop. Because that shot from Giorgi was travelling.
Morimoto, a lovely back heel. Cesar struggled with this one. Gets a strong handset, but still feels it might creep in, so he chases back.
Just for Inter try to exert their authority. Back come Novara. Rigoni's latest corner. That went Marianini. Francesco Marianini, the substitute. Pazzini. Nothing wrong there. Della Fiore. Lucio heads it back to his goalkeeper, Julio Cesar. Takayuki Morimoto, the 23-year-old Japanese forward. No Meggiorini now for Novara. He's been withdrawn. It was an untidy challenge by Marianini on Zarate, the two substitutes together that time. And Inter understandably want to take it as quickly as possible.
Of course, no Schneider now for dead ball situations. A little bit of pressure for the young lad.
Samir Oikani trying to get his defenders organised. Zarate comes out to Obi, and that will be a corner. Obi striking it. It's a good deflection.
Plenty of bodies in the box there for Inter.
Obi. Novara have been leading Inter since the 38th minute. On this synthetic surface, the Stadio Silvio Piola. Milito has collapsed in a heap. Actually, I think it might be
Ranocchia, I think.
Ranocchia, yeah, it is.
Ranocchia, to be honest. Pazzini is having a word with the referee because he feels he's been marked a little bit too tightly at times.
Gianpiero Gasparini staring down the barrel of goodness knows what.
Certainly again having his shirt held. And there it is, he just goes over his ankle. As I said, innocuous. It wasn't a challenge.
Ranocchia hobbles off. 3 substitutes already used.
Yep. 10 men for Inter. And chasing. It's going from bad to worse, isn't it?
Inter will desperately hope to get Ranocchia back into the action. Cambiasso felt that one. I think it was just the breath of Marianini on his neck. Here's Milito. Nagatomo for Cambiasso. He disguised that beautifully. The shot goes wide, and it was Pazzini.
Well, this is Pazzini's first real sniff at goal. It's a good chance for him. Lovely ball from Cambiasso.
Programming notes for you. Napoli against Fiorentina. One of our weekend matches. You can see that on Saturday at 7:45 here on ESPN and at HD. On Sunday, it'll be Parma against Roma at 7:45, a late night match here on ESPN. Well, if it was too soon to use the word crisis in connection with Inter before a ball was kicked tonight, I'd rather think we might be allowed to use it before long. Certainly if this carries on, Ranocchia walking back into the action. It's a gamble. Sanity. Plenty of bodies inside the box for Novara. They've shown so much spirit, so much determination. I always felt this was their night, their special night. First home game in Serie A for 55 years. Sanity losing out to Giorgi. Well, it's promising here for Novara. Morimoto was crying out for the ball to be played to him. It's disappointing by Jeda.
It was really poor. What a chance that was if they could have got the ball into Morimoto.
There's Nagatomo taking on Rigoni. Carries over there too, defending for Novara. Zanetti. Javier Zanetti, all-time leader now for Inter in terms of appearances in all competitions. Joined them back in 1995 from Banfield. Inter are in desperate need of inspiration here. Time is against them, Scott.
Yeah, I wonder what the likes of Zanetti is thinking at the moment. He's obviously seen it all and done it all. Now he's faced with, I would say, before the game it wasn't a crisis. If the result stays as it is, it certainly is a crisis as far as Inter Milan are concerned.
Full-blown crisis it would be. Wesley Sneijder, a spectator. Cambiasso, Zarate. Kivu's gone forward on the left. Zarate goes it alone for now. Obi. Sporcari who went down just as that was developing. Obi lets fly. The Novara players wanted the whistle blown. And it has been now. It is remarkable. Wesley Sneijder hasn't been able to find his rhythm under the new manager.
I must admit, Derek, I've never seen Inter so bad. He was taken off. It's still quite early for their star man, someone that can influence the game, someone that can create chances, opportunities, and that's exactly what they need. Just never seen Inter so bad. Going forward, too sluggish on the ball, running with the ball when they shouldn't, and it's getting caught up in this synthetic surface. Passing very, very poor. Players like Morimoto just not at all comfortable within himself. No one's really played to their ability.
Obi, slight suspicion of handball. Della Fiore concedes the throw. Here's Joel Obi again. Time of the essence for Inter. Lucio. A heavy touch from Milito. The free kick conceded.
Yet again, that build-up devoid of ideas. It's all one pace. That's made it relatively easy for the home side, but you also have to give them major credit so far. They've looked comfortable. You can tell that they're a side that know how they want to play and they're comfortable within their formation.
But on that time by Marianini. Morimoto was something to run onto it. Inter have got Bologna away from home on Saturday. Just 3 days ahead of their trip to Moscow to face CSKA in the Champions League. Big games coming thick and fast for Inter at the moment. Will this be the end of the line, the end of a very short line for Gianpiero Gasperini? Zarate. Cambiasso moved up there to centre forward. Kivu. Julio Cesar.
Sometimes you can get a little carried away with tactics and formations. When you look at the players that Inter have on this part, they should be able to win this game. They have the better quality.
Zarate. Well, that will suit Novara down to the ground. Players not on the same wavelength. Another direct approach favoured by Novara. Jeda was in pursuit of it.
This definitely smacks of a coach coming in with a formation in his mind that he wants to play and not having looked at the players that he has at his disposal. And changing the players to his formation is just wrong. Firstly, you must look at the players that you've got. Look at the formation they work best in, and that's the way you really have to, especially with seasoned campaigners and experienced players.
Yes, there are other coaches in Serie A who are fond of three at the back. Walter Mazzari of Napoli for one. He's been pretty successful with that setup. Now here's Lucio, and a trip there, just outside the box, was it? Well, actually no trip at all. It's a yellow card for Lucio for simulation.
controversial. It did look like he just was clipped, but the referee got that one spot on.
So it's contact on Lucio, no trip, as you saw from the replay. And it doesn't look good for Gianpiero Gasparini at the moment. If they go down here, Scott, would you put your money on a coaching change immediately?
I would, not just because they've gone down here, but because of the manner that they've gone down. They've looked so disjointed, so unwilling to give, I think, absolutely everything for the cause. I think the players in their heads have almost given up. They're not liking the way that they're having to play, and they're not doing the talking on the pitch, and I think that's what's putting the manager under
here's
pressure.
Morimoto trying to wriggle around Ranocchia.
That's a penalty.
And the referee right up with play, and Novara are going to have the chance to make certain of victory. Ranocchia is shown the red card. Could it be that Inter's misery is complete?
Well, it is yet again at the back. Incredibly poor. Good play though from Morimoto. Tussles there with Ranocchia. He gets himself wrong side here. The striker does really well. He's bundled over.
Well, they're all holding their breath. Rigoni for Novara. The Stadio Silvio Piola erupts. Attilio Tesser's men are surely now going to taste victory in the first home match in Serie A since 1956.
Straight down the middle. Cesar goes to his right. It's a pressure penalty, even at 1-0. They deserve it. There's no doubt the better team have won.
Inter down to 10 men. Shambolic, the Nerazzurri tonight. And it's hard to escape the conclusion that a coaching change is inevitable now. Gianpiero Gasparini has tried to do it his way, he's tried to introduce his methods, but they simply haven't worked. Well, there's the man who has the big decision to make, Massimo Moratti.
Well, it's a big decision, but I don't think it's a very difficult one, to be honest. You just don't get very much time at a massive club if you perform like this. At the end of the day, Inter need to win.
And it might well be 3 successive games without a goal. Just not good enough for Inter, the high standards they've set for themselves. But these Novara supporters don't care one jot about Inter as we speak. This is their night to enjoy, to celebrate, back in the big time and revelling in it.
They've been very, very good. Organised, defensively strong. Worked very, very hard up front. And they've made his night a misery. And we talk about formations, and you mentioned Napoli, Derek. You can play 3 at the back when you have the players to play 3 at the back. You can play 3-4-3 when it's on. But this Inter side, for me, they don't have the players that can play that way. And that's just been underlined yet again tonight.
Inter have had the lion's share of possession. That has counted for nothing in the grand scheme of things here. Milito. Nagatomo and Giorgi. It's come to Cambiasso. He's pulled one back. Well, Inter at long last have a goal. but has it come too late?
Certainly set up a dramatic finish. It's a good ball in, but it should be dealt with. I think it's a good finish in the end from Cambiasso. Comes to him quickly. It's Giorgi with a misplaced pass. And that's put a little bit of pressure on the home side. Let's see what he thinks.
Memories of Jose Mourinho when he was in charge. Inter could do little wrong. Well, Cambiasso with a late goal for the 10 men. Here's Giorgi, who'll want to atone for that horrific mistake. Can Inter pull another one out of the fire? Salvage something from this game. I wondered if that might not be enough to save poor Gianpiero Gasperini. So trying to do his job, and all of a sudden there's a glimmer of hope for Inter. Porcari managing to shuffle it away, and Giorgi together there with Zanetti. Free kick, and a few more seconds wasted from the Novara point of view.
3 minuti di recupero.
3 minutes to be added on to the 90. So finally ending the goalless run. Giorgi, and Morimoto is trying to hang on to it. The dying embers of this game. Fantastic work again by Morimoto, and it's Giorgi, and it's 3-1. It's Rigoni with his second. No doubt about it now. Novara are going to emerge victorious. The first home match back in Serie A, and Inter all over the place again.
Well, how about this for a response? Morimoto does so well. Giorgi, who was at fault for the goal for Inter, makes amends. Cesar makes the shot, makes the stop, I should say. I'll tell you what, it's a good finish from Rigoni because he keeps it down. He's in the right place. It's at the end of the match, and he's worked so hard. He finds himself right place at the right time. 3-1.
Attenzione, prego, ricordiamo
what a night. The Stadio Silvio Piora, this ground named after the all-time leading scorer in Serie A, the man who used to play for Novara, scored 70 goals in Serie A for the club. It's really without structure, without purpose, without organisation. Kivu is moving across. But it's a forlorn hope now for the Nerazzurri. And it's very difficult to envisage a way out of this for the embattled Gianpiero Gasperini. Nagatomo.
I think you're right, Derek. They've been without a lot of things tonight, Inter. But I think they've also been without total commitment to the Gasperini cause. I think that's been obvious. But let's take nothing away from Novara. They've played really well. And the coach, who knows this side and knows what the fans want, I think deserve this. It's taken them a while to get back here. 55 years it's been since they've played a match in Serie A at home, and they get a win out of it.
This is the stuff football dreams are made of. Novara return to Serie A, and in the first home game back, after so many years, after 55 years, they have toppled the mighty Inter, we might have said not so long ago. But poverty-stricken Inter, on the evidence of this performance, Attilio Tesser's men take the spoils. but it could be the end for Gianpiero Gasperini as manager of Internazionale. Final score 3-1 to Novara.